Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back into another video, and this time on a serious note. I would like to dedicate this video to one of my most loud followers. Through her words of encouragement and compassionate pursuit of me making videos and checking up on me, and her unwavering faith that another one would eventually emerge. Without all that, I don't know if this video would have ever been possible. So, thanks, Kesh. It really means a lot. Alright, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for joining me. Today's episode is going to be about one of my most favorite, most violent games of my teenage youth, Crusader No Remorse. I loved this game, and there's really only one reason why: the gratuitous violence in it. Now, this game is a top-down, kind of Diablo angled-esque shooter where you are defecting from a fascist corporation regime trying to rule the world with an iron fist, and now you work with the rebels, and you are going and you are paying the fascists back. And in this game, you don't only kill the soldiers of the enemy team, but you go to factories and you kill, there's tons of just innocent people, innocent cogs in the fascist regime. And then also you eventually break into an office building filled with senators and then you fucking blow them up. It's so fun. So violence was nothing new to video games by the time this game came out. It came out in '95, and Doom had already been out, right? I've already been blowing up monsters with rocket launchers and stuff like that, but they were monsters. Even the people were monsters, and when you blew them up, you just... and they make the big gooshy sound, and their guts fly over. And that's all well and good, and I love that too. But this had the most satisfying thing in the world. There's what they call the grenade launcher, but it really feels like a little mini rocket launcher because there's no bouncing or anything, right? It just flies out. It's a projectile that shoots out and explodes on impact. And when you hit these guys with that, they run around screaming. Running and screaming as their skin burns off, and then their charred corpse falls to the ground and is completely useless. Because as you shoot guys with like machine guns or pistols and regular weapons, their bodies fall to the ground and you can loot them. But if you just burn them to death, there's no looting that. You can't get anything from the corpse. They're just charred, disgusting remains. Like when the Joker got that guy with the zappy hand ring in the Batman movie, and he's like sitting around joking with him, I'm glad that you did. Like that's basically, that was me. I was the Joker playing this game as a kid. And there's even more, there's other electricity guns where you shoot them and they just they scream in horror as they're dying, and they just it's like they dissolve, right? It's almost like they evaporate and there's absolutely nothing left. And that one isn't quite as good as the burning, admittedly, but it's more powerful and it's fun to kill people in new and exciting ways. But I mean, I love the burning them, right? But later in the game, you get the microwave gun. Yes, you literally shoot people with balls of intense microwaves, and it melts their skin off, and they claw at their face as their skin melts off, and then you just see their muscles and bones exposed, clatter to the ground, fucking naked and defeated. Oh, It's so good, and I loved it. Now just give you a little bit more just information on the game. The generic info portion. The game was made in 1995 by Origin Systems, the same company that made Ultima, and they're one of my favorite companies, Wing Commander. They're great. And it was the hyperviolence that made it so awesome. So another thing that really made this game shine is it was running at a higher resolution than most games were running at the time. It was 640 by what, 480? Yeah, 640 by 480. And these graphics for the era that it came out in were so sharp. They were so clear. So when you see these people screaming and dying, like, I mean, nowadays we'll look and just say, oh, yeah, not bad. But like back then, these were cutting edge burning people, I tell you. It was great. And the music was banging. It's just like 90s electro metal pop type thing. It was made by a guy named Andrew Sega, which is fun because his last name is Sega, so it's video game related. And so that just makes it cool. There was lots of full motion video. This is in the CD-ROM era when lots of games were adding tons of gratuitous full motion video that was terrible, and games were based off it. Your character was full motion video. This game did it right by just having little cutscenes where you talk to people and they have all these B-level, B-grade actors, but they were really good. You got the cliched like woman whose family was killed. You're a defector from the corporation. And so when you get to the rebel base, you know, they don't trust you. So there's always the like, fucking hate you. And there's only a good dead silencer. That's what you play. You're the silencer. There's only a good silencer, and that's a dead silencer. And I'm always going to hate you.
I don't want anything to do with consortium scum like you.
Who's like the sleazy guy named Weasel, and he's got a ferret on his shoulder, and he says cheesy things like in his facial expressions, like when you say you want to buy something and you get to the confirmation screen and you're like, is this it? Is this what you want? It's so obnoxious and fun. There's one guy that I actually think was a pretty good actor, and he was the Hacker Man, the wizard, and he teleports you around, and I think he was pretty good, to be honest. I should look him up, see if I can find out his name and find out if he was ever in any like B movies or something like that. There's the Colonel.
On you, Captain. Good luck.
He's just looks like he's just biting the end of it, and then he's just dismissed. And he's got a cigar. It's great. All the characters are great. All the actors are great. There's the evil guy that like runs the corporation, or the consortium, I think it's called, and he's just, you know, the old gray-haired man who's sitting in his office and always speaks very paced, very calmly when he's discussing his evil deeds, and it's good. It's good. Another thing that made this game really stand out with the hyper-violence is that nearly everything in the environment is destructible. Everything blows up. A lot of stuff blows up to the point where it just goes away. So you can go in a room with tons of crates and stuff like this and you can blow it up. And this, you have to understand, is before this was like a commonplace thing. These are all hand-drawn sprites. So for each, sometimes there were multiple levels of being exploded. So for each one they had to hand draw these different things. And I'm telling you, when you get to firing the rocket launcher, just rippling it across, and you hit a stack of boxes, you know, with 10 boxes on it, and every box explodes at the same time. And the fire animations were so good. It was, what a treat, man. What a treat. You could control robots. There's bad robots they had to fight, but every now and then you use a console and control the robots and go around and kill people. It was awesome. I loved it. There's not a whole lot more to say other than it's just a pure action game with great full motion video, music. Let me check my notes here. The destructible environments. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this, and I'm going to bring this up later in another video, but there's these cases, glass cases with people in them, super soldiers that they're growing, and when you shoot it, the characters in it, there's multiple different animations for the same tube style. Guys fall out this way or that way. Sometimes it looks like they impale themselves on the broken glass of the tube as they fall out. And that's just something that, the animator man could have just made one and rotated it, but instead he really went all out and has multiple ones. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, the B actor, the guy who plays Dr. Gregor Hoffman, the evil doctor. He's so over the top and cheesy that it really makes everything. I still can't get over how much I like it. The songs, there's one different one for every level, so there's a lot of banging tracks. I know I already went over the music, but you just have to know how good they are, especially the menu track called The Traveler. I still go and listen to it to this day. It's on YouTube. You can go look it up. There's banging remixes of it. It's so fun. And yeah, there's betrayal, there's moles, there's people that get killed, characters that die. It's just got everything. And through the whole thing, you are just this unstoppable wrecking force of a man called the Silencer. And I don't think as stupid as this sounds, I don't think I picked up on this when I was a kid, but I totally notice it now as an adult. And here, let me just reach over and get this here, because you can big see. I was a huge Star Wars fan, and obviously so was Tony Zurovic, the guy that made this game, because this basically is Boba Fett, right? He looks like Boba Fett. So I feel like I naturally had an affinity, at a subconscious level, just and he's got gadgets like Boba Fett. You got landmines, you got detonation packs that you can trigger to go off. You got spider mines that walk across the ground, tickle, 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 tickle. You can steer them by rotating and blow up guys from around corners. You can blow open doors. This is back when I'm used to playing Doom, and you always got to find the key card, and there's some doors that require key cards or number codes that you got to find on a computer. Or, a lot of these cases, you can just take the rocket launcher and blow the door open and set off the alarm. There's really not that big of a deal to setting off the alarm. Sometimes it causes a couple more guards to warp in, but really it's never much. So, admittedly, in certain situations, you don't feel a huge incentive to go and look for the key code if you don't have to, because the consequences aren't so severe. That, and you just love killing people, right? You want it. You crave more people to shoot. So if anything, you blow it up just so you can get more people to massacre. And that's it. It was a hell of a game. I replayed it recently, both for PC and console. Video on that incoming later. And hopefully, oh no, I've paused. I should give you a few more facts on the game. Something that I thought was interesting is it was actually made with the Ultima 8 engine, which was a mouse-driven game. This is pretty much a keyboard-driven game, and the graphics resolution are way hyped up, and it's way better. And really, I guess that's all I can say about it. This video is kind of short and sweet. I just wanted to share how much I love the game and why I loved it so much. This is a game, it can be found on GOG, relatively cheap. I don't know, if it's enough of a game that, you people might want to go and play through the whole game, you might want to go and play it just for a few levels to blow up some guys and see some screaming people, or maybe make it long enough to microwave some people to death. But this is a game, it's not like the Manhunter that I talked about, where I'm like, I really just wanted to talk about this game. I don't recommend anybody go and play it. This one, I actually recommend people go to play because it's really fun, and I think you'll enjoy it too. So, yeah, I guess that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Keep your eyes open for another video incoming soon. I've been delaying making these videos for so long, I might just get them both edited and put them up both at once. Who knows? But yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and, outro.
Oh God! The children are burning! Ah!